John Swinney is in a pretty good position just now as leader, but there is a bit of chat about who's going to replace him, because there's a feeling that John Swinney won't be First Minister SNP leader for all that long. And the two names in the frame are Stephen Flynn, Mary McCallan. But I spoke to him at Westminster this week, and I'll just read you the quote. He seems to be downplaying talk of him as a potential successor. As a young parent, I struggle to find myself in a mindset where I would want to miss out on my kids growing up, because whilst I have a profound duty to people who I am very lucky to represent now and hopefully in the future, and to my nation, I've got a higher responsibility to my kids, and that weighs very heavily on me. I just understand what's important to me and what's right when it comes to how I prioritise my life. I spend a lot of time away from my family, which is tough. I spend a lot of time away from my kids, which is very hard. It puts a lot of strain on my wife, who does a fantastic job making sure that they're lovely wee boys. I would not want to put barriers in place to the relationship that I have with them. So doesn't sound massively enthusiastic about being Swinney's successor, does he?
No, it doesn't. That's quite strong.
That's really
strong.
My heart tells me that him saying I don't want to be First Minister is a bit like me saying I don't want to be John Robertson in 1989, or I don't want to be Sean Connery in 1965. I think he does want to be First Minister.
I think it's hard to.
I know. I mean, I think he's framing it in the context of young kids. So I think when Swinney, eventually, I'm not sure, but I mean, they'll be older, obviously. And I think maybe when Swinney does stand down, maybe they won't be young kids anymore. But, just take it at face value. He's putting up obstacles.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to come back from that and say, because in order to then launch a leadership campaign, he basically has to say, actually, I no longer want to spend much time with my kids. I've had enough of them.
Oh, Salmon famously U-turned, remember, the second time.
Fast, I will do it. Yes.
So, I mean, I think people forgive politicians for U-turning when it comes to saying when they're going to quit and if they're going to stand for leadership. But, I mean, right now, I thought it was interesting that he wasn't exactly rushing to pick up the baton.
He maybe just thinks now is not the time. But when the time does come, possibly in 5 or 6 years, I think he'll be well up for it. I think, if there's more, I think he'd be quite an effective SNP leader,
Yeah, I mean, I suppose he's looking to switch to Holyrood, so he'll get to spend more time at home in Aberdeen. I mean, and also, if you're First Minister, you can move the kids into Butte House, surely. I mean, Jack McConnell's kids lived in Butte House.
There's enough wiggle room in there, I think, for him to make a dignified U-turn at some point in the future.